So the previous topic that we were actually discussing was gravitational field because of point masses. Okay. Now for continuous mass distributions, that means for a rod, for an arc, such kind of objects, to give the field we need to do integration. So potential taking the strip and all is same. Field also the method is same, only basic definition will change. So you have to take the small part and integrate the small part to get the complete answer. Okay. So that is why what I will be doing is we will do potential. I will introduce potential energy and potential, and then I will come back to the derivation for fields and potentials. Okay. So now I will keep my heading as gravitational potential and potential energy. Gravitational potential and potential energy. Okay, both are different and people will be mixing both. So not to have any confusion, I will first differentiate it very clearly. So gravitational potential energy potential. I am telling you very clearly, point number 1, it is defined for a system. It is defined for a system of particles. Okay, right? Your gravitational potential, it is defined at a point. Okay, next, number 2, your unit, if you take, it is joules. Okay, here if you take the unit, people will write it as joule per kg, or people will also write it as volt, but it is not used here. Okay, instead people will do something else. What is that is, okay, people will give this as Newton per kg. Okay, Newton per kg, Newton meter per kg also they will use this, they will use less. Okay, I mean they'll use it in not much frequently. Okay, next, third point, we can, okay, in gravitational potential energy, mgh type format will be there, as well as gm1m2 by r square will be there. So both I will explain, don't worry, but just remember that you can only measure the potential difference u2 minus u1, okay, which is minus of work done by conservative force or work done by external agent in moving with constant in moving with constant speed. Why constant speed? I will tell you, don't worry. Okay, so indirectly this is minus of 1 to 2 conservative force. Work done is what? Integral of f bar dot dr bar, no? So here negative sign if it is conservative force. External agent work done is f external dot dr bar. Okay, you write it continuously to this side. Okay, right? So your work unit is joules, potential energy difference unit is also joules. Here your V2 minus V1 is, okay, between 2 points if you are trying to write the potential difference, it is minus of work done by conservative force per unit test mass, that is equal to minus of F conservative dot dr bar from in moving from 1 to 2 whole divided by mass, but F by M is field. Okay, in the previous class I have told you F bar is equal to M times E bar, no? So F by M is E. So this is minus of E bar dot dr bar you will have from 1 to 2. Okay, so here between 2 points, okay, from here only your V2 minus V1 volt potential difference is, for E what is the unit you check, and it is actually force work done per unit mass, so joule per kg. From this only I am rearranging and writing these two terms. Okay, right? Now this we need to see, this we need to see, but remember that potential it is defined at a point. Potential energy you will define it for a system. Okay, so please do not get confused at all with these parts. Okay, hope you have understood what I have explained and there are no doubts. Okay, so now I will continue further. Okay, copy it down. Both are different, each I will explain now. So now first to define potential energy, gravitational potential energy, in that a small part I need to explain first. So your first part is gravitational potential energy. Gravitational potential energy. Right. Now, if you have watched my work power energy videos, one thing that you are supposed to remember from that is, I might have explained there that you will always define potential energy only for conservative fields and conservative forces. Okay, you will have two kinds of forces, conservative and non-conservative forces will be there. Okay, what is the difference between those two? I might have explained there, but still briefly I will put it now. If you take a point 1, if you take another point 2, okay, now if you are trying to calculate your work is integral of f bar dot dr bar. Okay, now dr bar is some dx I cap plus dy j cap plus dz k cap, and if you are shifting from some point x1 to x1 y2 to x2 y2 z2 like this, okay, you are shifting between 2 points like this. Now, okay, what is your conservative force means your conservative force or field, what it exactly explains us is, okay, in this path, okay, if you take this as path 1, some other path if it is there, this is path 2, some other path you take, this is path 3. It doesn't matter which path you follow, but work will remain same, okay. Work done is independent of path. Work done by conservative force, work done by conservative force is independent of path. Independent of path means in whichever path you take, it doesn't matter, okay. So your work done in path 1 is same as work done in path 2, which is also same as work done in path 3. Your work done is independent of path means in this path, this path, this path, any path you take, work is same, okay. So W1 is equal to W2 is equal to W3. It only depends on initial and final positions, okay. It only depends on initial and final positions, okay. It only depends on initial and final positions, okay. So it will depend only on position 1 and position 2 like this, okay. It doesn't matter whichever path you take some other path, but ultimately if your final position is 2, then your work, I mean that whatever force you take, that is conservative, okay. So if you take one more point that I want you to remember is, in conservative fields, okay, in conservative forces or fields, work done in closed path is 0, okay. Work done in a closed path is equal to 0, okay. Your work done in closed path is equal to 0. So that means if you go from work from 1 to 2 plus work done from 2 to 1, it is 0. Indirectly, okay, 1 to 2 if you do positive work, 2 to 1 you will do negative work. It doesn't matter whichever path you take. While coming this way if you come, while going if you go through the middle, it doesn't matter, okay. If one is plus 100, other will be minus 100, overall net will become 0. Okay, so such kind of forces we call it as conservative forces, okay. So for conservative forces, work done is dependent only on initial and final positions, okay. So that is why we define potential energy only for conservative forces, okay. We will define potential energy only for conservative forces and we can only measure the potential energy difference, okay. So from this much explanation, what is the conclusion that I want to make? I'll write, but first copy this thing down, and if you have any doubts, just let me know. Work done in closed path is equal to 0. Remember this point, and this point, okay, right? And for conservative forces, what is that you can do? Only when conservative forces act on the system, okay, when only conservative forces act, okay, write this point as well. Mechanical energy, that is sum of potential energy plus kinetic energy. Mechanical energy will remain constant, that is your sum of potential energy plus kinetic energy will remain constant, okay. Alright, so now please do remember this stuff, okay, right. I will continue further, okay. Alright, next. Alright, now let's continue further, okay. So now what is the conclusion I will tell you. What are the key takeaways that I want you to take is, because your work is only dependent on initial and final positions, okay, so we will define potential energy between 2 points, okay. So first we will define potential energy only for conservative fields or forces, conservative forces or fields. Okay, field will cause force, of course. Okay, so as an example, what is that you have? Okay, gravitational potential energy. So gravitational field is conservative. Number 2, electric field or force. So we will define potential energy only for electric field or force. Next, spring force. Okay, we will not talk of spring field, but we will talk of spring force. So spring force half kx square formula we will write. Electrostatic, I mean k q1 q2 by r, you will write it. Gravitational force, I mean gravitational field or force, you will write, sorry, G minus G m1 m2 by r. These are what? Potential energies. Okay, so only for these kind of conservative fields only we will be defining potential energy. Okay, and point number 1, next, we can only measure potential energy difference between 2 points. Okay, right? Potential energy at infinity is 0. Remember this as well. P at infinity is equal to 0. Okay, represented by symbol U. U infinity is 0. Okay, so your potential energy difference between 2 points, I will write it very clearly. Okay, definition, U2 minus U1 is minus of work done by conservative force. Same definition in electrostatics. Okay, negative of work done by conservative force in moving some mass m from 1 to 2, which is equal to minus of 1 to 2 F conservative dot product with dr bar. Okay, that is U2 minus U1, which can also be written as work done by external agent in moving the mass from 1 to 2, that is equal to 1 to 2 times, okay, work done by external agent in moving from 1 to 2 by F external agent dot dr bar with constant speed. Okay, why this constant speed I will tell you. Okay, don't worry, but you can measure only potential energy difference like this. Okay, this table you just remember it. Okay, copy it down, remember these points, remember this information. Okay, I will continue with this information now. All right, so now let's come to gravitational potential energy. Okay, last class we have seen field because of point masses. In this lecture, potential energy. Then once you know the potential energy, then we will define potential. Okay, so everything step by step. All are interrelated. Force and energy are related, field and potential are related. Okay, so now what is this constant thing business and what is your potential energy of a two particle system? I will explain now. Observe carefully. Let us say you have a mass m1. Okay, now m1, m2, let us say they are initially at infinity. Okay, now m1 and m2 I have brought it and placed it at distance r. Okay, now what is my system means this is my system. Okay, initially charges are at masses are at infinity. I have brought the masses from infinity and I am placing those masses into the system at some distance r like this. Okay, now what is your potential energy of the system means, okay, your potential energy is work done in forming this configuration. Okay, your potential energy of the system is okay, work done in bringing masses from infinity and place into the system. Okay, from infinity you are going to bring and form this configuration. Okay, to form this system, how much work that you do, that will be your potential energy of the system. Okay, hope you have understood what I have explained. Okay, you have a system like this, you have point masses at infinity, all those you are going to bring and form the configuration. So how much work you do, that is your potential energy of the system. Okay, hope there are no doubts and you have understood what I have explained. Alright, now be very careful with what I am explaining. Okay, so this you just keep in mind. Now we will derive how much is energy of this system, okay, using these steps. Okay, those who want to copy, pause the video clip, copy this information. Now I will directly go to this. Okay, so I will calculate how much is the work done. Okay, so now this is your system somewhere here. Now you have m1, m2 at infinity. Now first what I will do is step 1, work done in bringing m1 from infinity. What is that I am doing? I am bringing m1 from infinity and I am placing it into the system here. Now before this system is empty, now I am bringing m1. Now when I first bring m1, for work to occur, work is what? Integral of f bar dot dr bar, right? From some position r1 to r2. Okay, now your work done is when there is no force. If f is 0, your work done is 0. So your work will be 0. Into an empty system, when you are bringing first mass, there is no force. Force is caused by between two masses. One produces field and other will experience the force. If this produces field, this will experience force. If this is producing field, this will experience force. If this produces field, this will experience force. Its own field cannot cause force on itself. This I have been repeating from long time. So here my point is, when you are bringing first mass m1, there is nothing in the system. So when you have nothing in the system, why will there be any work? So no work. Work done is 0. Right? Next, step 2. Work done in bringing m2 from infinity and place it at r, and place at r1, place at r from m1. So now system already contains m1. Okay, So I will erase this part. System already contains M1. Let us say this distance is R. Okay. Now very careful. Some person should carry this with constant speed. Why constant speed? I will tell you. Okay. Now while this is brought, while M2 is being brought into the system, there will be two things. One is gravitational force magnitude is G M1 M2 by R square. It will act this way. Direction is to the left. Now because of this force, if R, as you keep bringing from infinity, while you are carrying with from infinity, you are carrying it this way, R is changing. This force is variable. Now if you apply equal external force, now your work done by all forces is equal to change in kinetic energy. Work done by all forces means work done by conservative force plus work done by non-conservative force. When you bring with constant speed, this term is going to become 0. So work done by conservative force is equal to minus of work done by I write non-conservative force or external. Okay, F external will be equal to negative of work done by this thing, right? One is negative of other. So instead of calculating this, we will calculate this. Okay, from here only your potential energy difference definition is coming. So you bring it with constant speed, then only you will have work done by external agent and conservative force, both will be equal. So instead of calculating this conservative force, indirectly we are using external agent idea. Okay. So now that too with constant speed. If not, this side it will not become 0. Some other unknown factor will be there. Okay. So with constant speed, slowly you have to keep bringing. So if you do that, let us calculate the work. Okay. Now observe carefully. Work done is, okay, definition, U at R minus U at infinity, U2 minus U1. Okay, here many students and teachers, they will go wrong, be very careful. So U2 minus U1 is minus of F conservative dot dr bar from where to where, 1 to 2, if you are talking of conservative force. So that will give you U at position R minus U at infinity is equal to minus of R to, infinity to R, U2 minus U1, no. So from infinity to R. Okay, now be very careful. A bar dot B bar, what will you write? Mod A, mod B, cos theta. So angle between gravitational force that you take here, your displacement vector dr bar is this way, but it is decreasing. Gravitational force this way, small displacement vector dr r bar is in this direction, dr bar is reverse. If you take, it is not a good idea. So you have to take minus dr. So your angle is 0, but I will keep a minus sign because this r bar is decreasing. So I will write G m1 m2 by r square times minus dr times cos 0. Angle between f bar and dr bar is force and displacement, both are in same direction only. But here this, because r is decreasing. Okay, minus will become plus. Potential energy at infinity is 0. So observe carefully. UR is equal to minus minus plus, so from infinity to r, g m1 m2 by r square times dr. Now g m1 m2 is constant, integral of 1 by r square dr, this will become g m1 m2 by r square times integral of dr by r square from infinity to r. So r power minus 2 plus 1 by r power minus 2 plus 1 in the denominator, r power n plus 1 by r plus 1, if you do, integral of this will become minus 1 by r from infinity to r. So potential energy at r for this two particle system r is, your work done in shifting like this is minus g m1 m2 by r, because this minus, if you take out g m1 m2 times 1 by r minus 1 by infinity, any number by infinity is 0. So conclusion is gravitational potential energy, it is negative for a mass of m1 and m2 at distance r like this. What is your potential energy means u is minus g m1 m2 by r. Hope you have understood everything. Okay, right? That is your work done in forming this configuration. Okay, so this is also your work done in forming the configuration. Okay, work done in forming configuration or bringing m2. Okay, to bring m2 from infinity and place it at a distance r, this much work you will do it. Okay, so this is your derivation. Okay, pause the video clip, copy it down, I will continue further. Now let's go to the steps. So now I have given you how much is the work done in forming that configuration, and for a simple particle system I have given. Now steps for calculation of potential energy. Of system or work done in forming configuration. Okay, so now observe carefully. Let us say you have a system. Okay, you are supposed to calculate your work done. Let us say this mass is m1, m2, r12, m3, r13, m4, r34, r24, r13, r23, like this. These distances are given. Now you are supposed to calculate your work done in forming this system. Okay, now what are the steps that you are supposed to follow is, first take, okay, assume or first take the assumption that all masses are at infinity. Okay, take an assumption that all the masses are at infinity. Okay, assume all masses are at infinity. Okay, and bring each mass one by one and calculate work done in each step. So your total work done is your potential energy of system. Okay, I will repeat. Assume all masses are at infinity. Bring each mass one by one. Calculate work done in bringing each mass. Your potential energy of the system is work done by all the masses. Okay, so first work done in, first I will bring m1 into the system. So work done in bringing m1 is assuming all masses are at infinity, work done in bringing m1 is equal to 0. W1 is equal to 0. Why? Because when you are bringing m1, system contains nothing, no force, no field. I have explained in the derivation. Next, when you bring, okay, step 2, when you bring m2 into the system and place it at a distance of r12. Okay, so work done in bringing. Now in step 2, system contains m1. Here in step 1, system is empty. Okay, same logic you will follow in electrostatics, and I have told you, learn electrostatics and then come to gravitation. So now system contains m1. So your work done in bringing m2 will be, okay, just now we have seen how much it is, minus g m1 m2 by distance is r12. Okay, in the denominator you will get r, not r square. For force you will get r square, potential energy you will get only r. It is a scalar quantity. Okay, so your w1 it is 0. Okay, w2 it is minus g m1 m2 by r12. Okay, right? Next, step 3. Okay, your third step is, now I will bring m3 into the system. Okay, now I will bring m3 into the system. Okay, so if I bring m3, now system contains m1 and m2. Now when you are bringing m2, you will do work against force of m1. Now when you already have m1 and m2 at distance of r12 and you are bringing m3 here and placing it here, you will do work against force of field of m1, you will do work against force or field of 2 as well. So your work done in bringing m3 is, work done in bringing m3 is equal to, okay, work done in bringing m3 is equal to minus g m1 m3 by r13 is against field of m1, against field of m2 minus g m2 m3 by distance you have to take r23. Okay, so your work done w3 will be, okay, work done w3 will be minus g m1 m3 by r13 minus g m2 m3 by r23. Okay, please do not write g m1 m2 by r12, that is in bringing m2, but we have brought m2 into already into the system. Okay, next we have brought now work done in bringing m3. Now last step is step 4. System now contains m1 m2 m3. Now I will bring m4 into the system, so I will utilize this space. So in bringing m4, okay, your work done in bringing m4 is, okay, you will do work against, now system contains already these 3, right? 1, 2, 3 are there, so it will do work against field or force of each. So because of 1, minus g m1 m4 by r14, because of 2, minus g m2 m4 by r24 minus g m3 m4 by r34. Okay, so this is your work done in bringing m4. So your w4 is, okay, your w4 is minus g m1 m4 by r14 minus g m2 m4 by r24 minus g m3 m4 by r34. Okay, so that is your work done. So your net work done is Okay, your net work done is, okay, W net is equal to W1 plus W2 plus W3 plus W4. Okay, W1 anyhow it will be 0. Add all these two, which is your potential energy of system or your work done in forming this system. Okay, work done in forming the system. Okay, this is your work. Okay, so please do copy this. If you have any doubts, just let me know. Okay, right? So this is how you calculate your potential energy. Okay, so let me give you a question. Simple questions, 1 or 2 questions we will do, and then I will skip this. Okay, next. Minus sign, you please don't forget it, and in the denominator it is R. For force R square, for potential energy it is only R. Okay, so now my system is this M, 2M, 3M, side of equilateral triangle DDD. Find potential energy of system. Or else wait, we'll do 2 questions in 1 bit itself. Okay, so what is the question? I will tell you. You have 3 masses M, M, M. They are at sides of equilateral triangle of side D. What is your question is, first bit, find potential energy of system. Number 1. Number 2, if side is increased to 2D, if size is increased to 2D, okay, distance between the sides, find work done to shift. That is your question. Okay, so now how will you do the answer? Okay, that is what is required. Okay, so give it a try. Pause the video clip, try it. I will explain the solution now. So when you bring M into the system first, W1 will be 0. Okay, now next bring second mass into the system. Your work done W2 will be minus Gm square by D. In the denominator it is D, M into M, M square. Now when you bring third mass into the system, W3 will be, okay, you will be working against this and this. Okay, this is 1, this is 2 if you assume. Minus Gm square by D against 1, minus Gm square by D against 2. Your potential energy of system is U is equal to minus 3 Gm square by D, because W1 plus W2 plus W3. Okay, so first bit answer is done. Now your size, second bit answer is, okay, now final potential energy if you take, initial how much it is means this much. This is your initial potential energy. Okay, U initial. U final is, it is same, but distance is, what is it becoming? 3 Gm square by 2D. Okay, now your work done by external agent in doing so is to shift is change in potential energy delta U, that is U final minus U initial. What is U final means? It is minus 3 Gm square by 2D minus U initial is minus 3 Gm square by D. So that will give you 3 Gm square times 1 by D minus 1 by 2D. Simplify it, how much is the answer? That is your final answer. Okay, so like this you will have simple bits. you can calculate it. Okay, potential energy is a scalar quantity. So work is a scalar, so you don't need to add it vectorially, all are scalars, just add them like numbers. Alright, now why did I discuss this? To explain potential. Okay, potential energy if you know, then automatically you will understand potential, and if you understand potential, then only we will be able to derive potential and potential energy for continuous mass distributions. Okay, so next is gravitational potential. Okay, I'll come back to potential energy later, but first basic things. Just to solve HC Verma, this information is enough. You don't need to scratch your heads too much. So your part is, okay, your part is, next part is gravitational potential. Potential is different, potential energy is different, represented by symbol V, potential energy U. Okay, so now if you take a mass M and if you take 1 kg here at this point P, I told you you will define potential at a point. So definition wise I will talk about it later, but for now potential at P is, must just simply remember that it is minus Gm by R. Okay, I will give you the logic now, don't worry. Your potential is minus Gm by R, negative sign very important. Many people will forget it. Now how did I get this? I will tell you. What did I tell you as definition of potential? V2 minus V1 is minus of work done by conservative force per unit mass. Okay, right? So that is minus of 1 to 2 F conservative dot dr bar by mass. This force by mass is field. So minus of 1 to 2 E bar dot dr bar is your potential difference. Here also it is the same thing, but it is work done per unit mass. Okay, so this mass, if I make it as 1 kg, if M is equal to 1 kg, if M is 1, this will become what? Force on 1 kg. But we know that force it is what? Gm1 minus Gm1 M2 by R, right? So if you make 1 kg, so your this work done will be, right, if you just work done per unit mass, if you take this denominator, if you take M is equal to 1, this 1 is your test. If capital M is 1, work done by 1, work done is what? We know that it is from previous potential energy definition, it is Gm1 M2 by R. So it is G times M into 1 by R. So that is why it is this much, minus Gm by R. Your potential difference is minus Gm by R. Okay, your potential difference is minus Gm by R. Okay, and remember scalar quantity. Okay, right, potential Gm1 M2 by R, force Gm1 M2 by R square, field it is vector. Okay, here it is a scalar quantity. For scalars, negative sign is not taken care in the direction, so we have to mention it. That is why for potential energy and potential we will keep minus sign. Okay, this definition alone is enough for point masses. Okay, for continuous mass distributions, what is it? I will tell you. Okay, so I want you to remember or take the conclusion as for point masses, if this distance is M, if this distance is R, your potential at P is minus Gm by R. Okay, for continuous mass distributions, which I will derive it later. For continuous masses, okay, your potential is minus of G into small potential dV is minus of G times small mass dm by R. To get total potential, you have to integrate it, minus G times dm by R. Okay, from where to where means V2 minus V1, that is from infinity to R. Okay, Vp minus V infinity. Potential at infinity is also 0. Potential at infinity is also 0. Okay, right? Remember this stuff, very important. I will help you out, don't worry. Okay, copy this fast. I'll erase it. I am erasing. Okay, right. Now observe carefully. Next is your principle of superposition of potential. So if you have a mass m1, m2, m3, m4, m5 like this, at this from here to here if the distance is r1, from here to here if it is r2, r3, r4, r5 like this. At this point, at point P, if you want the potential, okay, your potential Vp will become minus gm1 by r1 minus gm2 by r2 minus gm3 by r3 minus gm4 by r4 minus g times m5 by r5. Okay, so that is your potential at this point. Okay, your potential at point P is this much. Okay, right? So now here this is your potential value. Okay, right? Hope you have understood this and there are no doubts. Okay, all right. Now here you have got the potential value. Okay, so now once you get the potentials, it is scalar addition. Okay, remember scalar addition, not vector addition. For field, vectors. Okay, field and force, vectors. Potential and potential energy, scalars. Okay, I write that very clearly. Force and field, vector addition in principle of superposition. Okay, for potentials and potential energy, potential and potential energy scalars. Here you will have extra negative sign. Okay, negative sign will be there. You can just add them like numbers. Okay, and now arithmetic progression they will give you at some distance, origin, from origin m, 2m, 3m, all those they will give you. GP and series expressions you must remember. Okay, so arithmetic progression terms, okay, what they will do is they will give you some axis. They will say they have placed mass m, 2m, 3m, 4m like this, something they will give you, and they will ask you to calculate like potential at origin somewhere d. Numerator, denominator they will change. They will ask fields and potentials. So don't get terrified. Use this logic. Arithmetic progression difference is constant. You will have terms in the form of a plus d, a plus n minus 1 into d. A is the first term. Your sum of n terms is n by 2 times a plus l, which is okay, n by 2 times 2a plus n minus 1 into d, also you can write it. Okay, that is sum of n terms. In arithmetic progression, difference between the numbers will be constant. In geometric progression, you will have a, ar square, ar cube, so on up to ar power n minus 1. Here sum of n terms is a times r power n minus 1 by r minus 1. Very important, commonly used sum of infinite terms is a by 1 minus r, where r is the ratio. Okay, and coming to series, sigma of n, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus so on up to sum of n numbers is n into n plus 1 by 2. Sigma of n square is n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 by 6. Sigma of n cube is n square into n plus 1 whole square by 4. Okay, so based on these expressions you will get the simple questions, you will be able to do it. Okay, calculate the distance according to that definition whatever it is given and do the questions accordingly. Okay, so this is regarding calculation of potential because of scalars. Okay, hope you have understood this and there are no doubts. Okay, right, now copy this thing down. Okay, so in the next lecture we will calculate field and potential because of continuous mass distributions, then you will get clarity. Okay, so I will erase this. So now quick summary of what is that you have learned so far. M1, M2 are, between these two you will talk of force. F is Gm1 M2 by R square. Direction you will write it left or right depending upon you take M1 or M2. And if you are talking of potential energy, minus Gm1 M2 by R. Here for force denominator R square, inverse square law. For potential energy it is only R. Okay, so here vector addition for forces. Okay, vector addition. For potential energy it is scalar addition, work. Okay, right. Next, it is for bodies between two masses or for group of masses you will define for system. Okay, you will define force on a body. Okay, right. Next, potential and field. Okay, you will define field and potential at a point. So E bar at P is, you will write Gm by R square, direction is left or right. Here also when there is principle of superposition, multiple masses are involved, you will do vector addition. Okay, and here potential you will just simply keep a minus sign, minus Gm by R. Okay, it is scalar addition. Okay, so here you will have I cap J cap sign convention. Here also I cap J cap you will take and then do the calculation. Okay, for potential energies you will not do it. Okay, so your field and potential they are defined at a point. Okay, this you remember and using this you try to do the questions. Okay, all right, now hope you have understood this and there are no doubts. Okay, so now let us do a question. Okay, simple question, and then I will explain a small logic. Potential different, potential energy is different. Okay, everything is different. Observe carefully. So let us say you have a mass m, you have a mass 3m, distance between them is 2r. Okay. At this point you have m dash, this is A, you are bringing it and placing it at B. Okay, what is to be done I will tell you. Okay, first simple question, find V and VB. No placing, nothing. Find V and VB. First question, no shifting, nothing. Work done in shifting I will give it as a separate heading. Okay, find potential at A and B. So what is your answer? Potential at A is minus Gm by, if it is at midpoint this is R, this is R. Right? From here to here also I should give the distance in the question. Let us say it is once again 2R. So your potential at A is minus Gm by R minus G times 3m by R, because it is scalar you have to look at the distances. Next, potential at B is how much it is? From here minus Gm by, how much is the distance from this point to M? 2R plus this part is r indirectly. So it is minus gm by 3r minus g times 3m by r. Okay, right? So that is your potential at A and B. Like this simple questions you will do it. Okay, now you can do it. I have given series definition. They will keep some mass at origin. They will ask you to find field force, everything 1, 2m, m, 2m at different distances. Okay, look at that series expansion. Which expansion it comes, you substitute it. Now I did not do this for this sake. I will tell you. Okay, so your next heading is work done in shifting the mass between 2 points. Okay, your actual heading is this: work done in shifting a point mass between two different points. Okay, so what is this? I will tell you through an example. Let us say you have m1 here, let us say you have m2 here. Okay, so now from between these 2 points, if this distance is r1, this distance is r2, at this point let us say you have m, this is point A, and from here to here some distance r3 is there, this is some point B, this is point A. Now what is your question is, find work done in shifting m from A to B. Okay, that is your question. Now what is the required relation is, whenever in some system this kind of shift happens, your work done is change in potential energy of system. Okay, which can also be written as, okay, m to be moved times destination potential minus source point potential. Destination potential minus source point potential is your work done in shifting. So if I follow that logic, okay, what is my potential at B means, if I am shifting m, don't consider potential because of m. So at B, what is your potential means, minus g m1 by r1 plus r2 plus r3 is the distance from point B to m1. Okay, right, minus g m2 by r3. Okay, right. Next, potential at A is minus g m1 by r1 minus g m2 by r2. Okay, because of m1 how much is potential means, okay, don't consider potential because of the shifting mass, consider because of remaining elements. So from here get VB minus VA value, take this and substitute into this expression to get the required answer. Okay, so with this I have discussed potential energy and field because of point masses. Okay, now in the next class we will be doing field and potential because of continuous mass distributions. Okay, so next lecture is important, and please do watch my application of integration in physics, how to take strip and integrate. Watch that part and then join to this next lecture. Okay, by the time if you are planning to learn calculation of field and potential for continuous mass distributions, please watch my application of integration in physics, how to take a strip and then do integrate, or if possible learn center of mass derivations, moment of inertia derivations, which I have discussed. Watch those playlists and then join. Okay, so at least integration playlist applications you watch and then join this. Okay, right, that's all for today. Thank you.